Well, our dear viewers, as we have said at the beginning of our program, that we are going to talk about the agreement, the protocol which was signed between the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology and the Egyptian Space Agency. They signed a cooperation protocol to equip a computer center and an integrated information system for the Egyptian Space Agency. The protocol signing was witnessed via video conferencing by Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research Khalid Abdelghaffar and Minister of Information Technology Amr Talat. The protocol, which will last over 3 years, will see the preparation for infrastructure and data center to connect the center up with all buildings under the Space Agency. It was also providing computing equipment, software, information network and security devices, servers and storage units for the agency. To shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to have with us over the phone Dr. Islam Aboul, Higher Education for Minister's Counselor of African Affairs. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Dr. Aboul, can you give us insight on the importance of the space technology in support of the distance education and development in Africa?
Thank you very much for raising this issue, and I believe that one of the main challenges of COVID-19 is that how to use internet technology and space technology to ease the day-to-day life of the community. And one of the top priority is education and how much we ensure that we deliver top valued education to pre-university and higher education. And I think the government and His Excellency Professor Khalid Abdelghaffar, the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, with the Dr. Amr Talat, Minister of Telecommunication and Information Technology, took the step forward in this issue, and it made available platforms for universities, for education, for secured exams, for connecting the teachers and lecturers between the university staff and the students. All this technology came from space. How much space technology in communication, satellites provide this kind of opportunity of online and e-learning education.
Yes.
And we believe that the future of this e-learning and distance learning will be at top priority in the next few years.
Yes. Dr. Aboul, how can we provide educational platforms for the pre-university and the university education as well?
I think the Minister of Education, Dr. Tariq Shawqi, provided this solution as early 2 years ago when we started the secondary school to use tablets.
Yes.
And how much this tablet is a new educational system, but was really rely on the internet connectivity and the distance learning with the students, and how the exams and classroom could be provided easily by the internet. However, there were some challenges for this approach, and it took time to stabilize the system, stabilize the platforms, and the huge number of students to get connected at the same time. But we have now the infrastructures, ICT infrastructure, that enable us to make such platform for education. In the university, I think we got steps ahead of this kind of platforms, and there is a lot of universities that already made one platform for the lectures, for the presentations to students, for the exams, for the assignments, and it's all secured and developed. And we still improve and enhance these platforms to ensure a high level of connectivity, to ensure a high level of security of all these materials.
Yes, indeed. Sir, can you talk to us about the importance of the scientific research in raising the efficiency of the universities?
Scientific research, I believe the government now started to believe in scientific research and how much science and technology and innovation could lead the economy. And this is why the government start to invest in scientific research and increase the budget.
Yes.
If you see the declaration recently made by His Excellency Professor Khalid Abdel, the minister, that the scientific research budget increased to nearly 1 GDP, which 1% GDP for scientific research is equivalent to many countries, developed countries, and even ahead of many countries in Africa. So such investment and budget allocation for the scientific research promote the science and technology innovation in university and research centers, and in a lot of products that help and support the community and make economical value. And for the time being, if you see how much we spent in research and clinical trials, the COVID-19 vaccines, if you look for some instruments to measure temperature, if you look to Mansoura University when they made a robot to deliver all the stuff and something to the patients of COVID-19 to ensure no connectivity between people for transfer the COVID-19. So this kind of research promoted the universities and the research centers to make some value added of the scientific research.
Yes, indeed. Sir, providing actually large database to raise the efficiency of development in Africa to achieve the 2030 agenda. Can you elaborate on that, Doctor?
Definitely. If you look to the agenda, the Egypt Vision 2030, it's aligned with the global SDGs 2030 and the 2063 African Agenda for Development. Space technology and Earth observation is a kind of giving a real-time information for many disciplines and thematic areas for the development. Such a huge data for processing and generating information for decision makers, policy makers, practitioners. So you need this huge data to be processed. So we are developing and establishing the African Space Agency, which would be the headquarters in Cairo. And luckily, we got this declaration by the summit in 2019 while we were heading the African Union Commission. And I think this African Space Agency and the ICT infrastructure in Egypt enabled to build such huge servers and databases for processing for sustainable development.
Yes,
I believe information technology and the space technology will play a key role for the development in Africa in the next decade.
Yes. Sir, how is Africa responding to the COVID-19 actually through the space technology?
I think Africa is the poorest continent, but again, they are doing well for strategy and implementing the strategy and the connectivity between the member states for facing such challenges. In Africa, there is something called C10 or Champion 10 member states that leading the education, science, and technology in Africa, and they make best practices and distribute such best practices to other member states. Egypt is one of these, the C10 committee, and we always make a meeting that to see how we share and transfer knowledge technology about the facing such challenges. Using e-learning and how much we developed our system. And Dr. Khalid Abdel made this intervention for many meetings with the African Union Commission and shared this experience, how to use the e-learning, distance learning, how we developed our system, how to make you know, some research centers to manufacture, you know, the masks and, you know, all the stuff that protect human from COVID-19. So
Yes,
I think we are sharing this knowledge and experience.
Yes. Doctor, of course, due to the repercussions of the COVID-19 during the last months, we did depend a lot on the e-learning and distance learning. To what extent we are going to witness more cooperation between Egypt and Africa regarding that domain in particular, sir?
I think there is a lot of cooperation between Egypt and Africa in this issue, and we are providing, as I told you earlier, that we are sharing our experience, our best practice, and we are supporting other member states by providing these platforms to support them to learn from this experience. And even we are a member of the pre-education committee, ADEA, and in this ADEA we make the executive committee meeting was 1 week ago, and we told them how we are ready to provide our brothers and sisters in Africa for such platforms and give them such experience.
Yes.
So I believe our connectivity now with Africa is at top. And as you see from the government put a priority to Africa and how we engage properly and actively with African member states.
Yes. Finally, Doctor, what are your expectations for the coming steps that could actually be taken in order to develop the e-learning and distance learning and of course, the cooperation which will take place between the Ministry of Information Technology and the Egyptian Space Agency?
I believe Egypt, one of the top countries in Africa that have very good infrastructure in ICT and internet connectivity, which is the base for e-learning or distance learning. You need very high-speed internet to make connectivity. You need very secure to develop the platforms, and we have a lot of engineers and even private sector that is working in developing software and the platforms. And I think this kind of connectivity would make a strong to Egypt position in such a thematic area.
Indeed.
The connectivity with Egyptian Space Agency, I believe Egypt now put much attention to the space with the declaration of His Excellency, the President of Egypt, El-Sisi, that declared the Egyptian Space Agency 2018, and I think now will drive all this process using the telecommunication satellites.
Indeed. Dr. Islam Aboul Magd, Higher Education Minister's Counselor of African Affairs, many thanks for watching and thank you very much for being our guest for today. With that, our viewers, we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Show that were brought to you live by myself, Maisi Rabia, and my dear colleague, Karim Gamal Eddin. Till tomorrow with another quiz. Goodbye. Thank you for watching and have a very good day.